Hello chess lovers! I have a very interesting game for you played by Lubomir Kavalek against Wolfgang Pietzsch. This is a game played in 1967. Kavalek had white pieces and he started with c4, English opening, e5 by Pietzsch, knight c3, knight f6, g3 preparing to fianchetto the bishop, knight c6, bishop g2, bishop b4, knight d5, a5, e3, black castles kingside, a3, bishop c5, knight e2, d6, white castles kingside, rook e8, h3 preventing any bishop g4 moves e4, taking under control the light squares, knight c3, and we see the exchange of knights on d5 square. Knight e7 and white captures on e4. Of course, capturing on e4 with a knight is also playable. If knight takes d5, then white can capture on c5. Probably this continuation would have been even stronger for white, but after knight e7 we see bishop takes e4, which allows black to capture on h3. But in return, white goes for this beautiful tactical shot, bishop takes h7 check. The idea is that if king takes h7, then queen h5 check, forking the king and the bishop, and then white can win back the lost bishop. But after bishop takes h7 check, we see king f8. Rook e1 and g6 trying to trap the bishop, at the same time prevent any unpleasant queen h5 jumps. d4, bishop b6. Well, if we move like king g7, then white can capture on c5. If king takes h7, then queen f3, both threatening g4, trapping the bishop, at the same time attacking the pawn on f7. That's why after d4 we see bishop b6. Now comes e4, and after king g7 we see queen d2. By playing e4, white opened up this diagonal for the queen. King takes h7, well, not a good move. Actually playing knight f5 would have been better. If e takes f5, then rook e1 check, luring away the queen from c1 h6 diagonal, and then capture on f5. If queen d2, then already black can capture on h7. And the position is actually equal, but after queen d2 we see king takes h7 straight away, which allows white to gain advantage. Here comes queen h6 check, king g8, but instead of capturing on h3 straight away, we first see bishop g5. Of course, queen takes h3 is also playable. The threat is bishop f6, creating mating threats. And after bishop takes d4, once the bishop is controlling this diagonal, white captures on h3. f6, kicking away the bishop, and then rook f8. Black is now trying to consolidate his position, but at the same time by playing f6, black created a very dangerous hole on e6 square. Now comes knight b5, the bishop is under attack, bishop e5, this time we see f4. And these pawns are becoming very dangerous. But on the other hand, of course, this f4 allows bishop takes b2 and rook b1. Now, where is black going to place the bishop? Looks like the bishop is trapped, but luckily black has this c6 move counter-attacking white knight. But now the queen jumps on e6 square, giving a check, exploiting the weaknesses of light squares. King g7 and simply knight takes d6. And this is becoming very dangerous for black. Bishop takes a3, but now comes the e-pawn, e5. These bulldozers are marching forward, sweeping everything on their path. Now if a move like bishop takes d6, then e takes d6, and if black moves away his knight, then simply rook takes b7, and then king f2, creating a very dangerous threat, rook h1 check. Of course, this can be very dangerous for black, that's why after e5 we see b5, protecting the pawn. But now white captures on f6, he takes f6 check, rook takes f6. Instead of rook takes f6, if we move like king h7, then white can play king g2 again with the same mating threats. If knight f5, then rook h1 check. If knight h6, then white can sacrifice the rook on h6 square and then checkmate black king. A very beautiful line, I think. But after e takes f6 check, we see rook takes f6. A desperate move, of course. Right now, even this simple queen takes e7 is winning, but in this position Lubomir Kavalek found a brilliant move. Can you find his next move? Ready? Believe it or not, but is simply captured on f6 and black resigned. The idea is that if king takes f6, then bishop c3, and this is a checkmate. Truly a very impressive checkmate. It's hard to believe, but yes, the enemy king is killed. What a queen sacrifice. Let's have a look at that. Queen takes f6 move once again, and then the bishop comes, and this is a checkmate. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave your comments. I hope that you enjoyed this brilliant queen sacrifice. Good luck.